Sheikh, we can't hear you.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him either.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
When you want to just share screen, just pull out this video.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Not in the hall.
What time is it? Oh, perfect. So it's 4:01 now, so we can. Are we good? Can you hear me, Sister Mesa? Sheikh Yasser, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, if you could see me. Yes?
I can hear you, but I don't think he can yet.
Sheikh Yasser, if you can just unmute yourself. Uh-oh. He'll try figuring that out. In the meantime, we will get started. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to our Access family. We hope you are all safe, healthy, and ready to go back to school. This month is all about welcoming the students to a new school year. With COVID bringing changes to the reopening of school, there's a lot to process for students, families, administrators, teachers. Pretty much everyone is some way or another affected. So we at Access Cal would like to devote this week along with next week to highlight the plans of our local campuses and provide students with some tips on how to conquer this new school year. While I'm on that note, I do want to share with you a fun fact. Today is actually International Youth Day. So we are celebrating our youth for their engagement, whether it's socially or politically. Any youth, if you're out there listening, today is your special day. So keep up the great work. Good, thank God we can't hear you, Sheikh Yasser. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sara Bijawi. I am a mental health therapist, and I am joined by two very special community members. As always, we have our Sheikh Yasser, licensed marriage and family therapist, and special guest, we have Sister Mesa Youssef, principal of our Orange Crescent School. Hello, Sister Mesa, how are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's so good to have you. Sister Mesa also actually taught math for 5 years at a charter high school. And she has a master's, a second master's, mashallah, in educational leadership and policy studies with an administrative credential. So you are definitely well-versed in school life, huh?
Yes, forever a student.
So good to have you join us. Thank you. Did I
Thank you.
unmute, Sheikh? Are you good? Can you say something, Sheikh Yasser?
I am unmuted, and
Yay.
happy International Youth Day to me and all the youth like me. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you guys for both being here. Let me just take a second to share a little bit about Access Cal. We do want to invite any of our new viewers. If you're joining us, hello. Access California is a nonprofit organization located in Anaheim on South Brookhurst. We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we host many services, included but not limited to immigration, healthcare, refugee, and mental health. So if there's any way we can help you, or if you're wondering if we can be in support on your specific case, give us a call and we can answer your questions. I do want to get back to today's program discussing, I'm sure our participants, they're eagerly wondering what they can do to get ready for school and what's happening at Orange Crescent. So Sister Mesa, I'll invite you to share a little bit about the plan for the reopening. As usual, to our viewers, if you have any questions, go ahead and use the chat box and we'll devote the last couple of minutes to help answer them. I do want to tell you guys I have a special video I want to show, so please stick around at the end. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you, a little housekeeping information. Otherwise, Sheikh Yasser, I'll pass the mic over to you.
Well, Sarah, it's good to see you again. And Sister Mesa, thank you for joining us. And Sister Nahla, it's good to see you as well. And I know we are starting with something really, really nice. I think, though, it will be very befitting that we share our condolences with the people of Lebanon, especially the people of Beirut. As you are all aware of the accident that took place about 2 weeks ago, and I know that in our community, there are many people who are from a Lebanese and a Syrian background, because some of the victims in that accident also happen to be Syrian. So we just want to make sure that we pass on our sincere condolences to all the families that have lost loved ones. And if anyone out there has got a loved one who is injured, may Allah grant them a very speedy recovery, and we wish for their speedy recovery. And if anybody is lost, may they be found in the best of health and the best of circumstances. And I think that it's very appropriate that we acknowledge this as we are about to get ready to tackle our topic. And I know that our topic, Sister Mesa, has got two components into it. There is the actual educational part, and we would love, of course, to hear your input regarding this. And then we also believe that there is a mental health component into it as well. As you know that distance learning may be appropriate for older adults, but I think that for children, especially people in kindergarten, elementary school, I think all schooling, I think that it is most fun, best for the development of children, that they be doing it face to face. Unfortunately, at this point, the safest place is actually to be home. So we're happy that you all are not opening your school. So as you are talking about what educators are doing, I think it's also very appropriate that we address what are going to be the best mental health practices for the family, and also especially for the children, so that it can be as successful and as a pleasant of an experience as we are able to make it be. So as both of us are talking, there will be these two components that are being passed on. But I tell you what, man, I am wishing all the parents out there good luck to you all. My kids just joined, alhamdulillah, and boy, is it a struggle. So please, having said that, Sister Mesa, what is the plan for Orange Crescent, and when do you all open your school?
Yeah, so inshallah, today was the first day back for the teachers. So we had our first staff meeting all through Zoom. We stayed apart from each other in our own classrooms. We're getting ready because our first day of school is August 19th, so next Wednesday.
Nice.
Of course, due to the current situation, 1st through 10th grade will be fully online. We are working on opportunities for kids to come on campus every so often in a very safe outdoor space and keeping social distance. So at least they get maybe every other week some sort of interaction with their peers and their teacher. As well as this Monday, we are doing the pickup of all of their materials. They'll get to meet their teachers in a drive-through manner of picking up their box of supplies, their books, and seeing their new teacher, inshallah. Our preschool and kindergarten will be in person. And of course, we're having to follow all of the necessary, CDC guidelines and local and state health procedures, and making sure we keep everyone safe and minimizing the number of students and so forth. So that's also opening on Wednesday. Inshallah, we again, of course, our priority is the safety of everyone. We do know we do have a lot of essential workers in the community, and we know that parents still need some sort of daycare option for the little ones. So we are able to provide that. And I agree 100%, Sheikh Yasser. Of course, as educators, we were built to teach kids in person. We believe that is the most effective way. But like you said, safety is our priority. And as of now, the safest thing right now is to be home. So I'm going to focus on the academic side and just kind of give some tips. And of course, we all look forward to hear what we need to do for the social emotional, of course. But academically, my number one thing, and I know there's no blame. I have 5 children. There was one point where there would be 7 Zoom sessions going on at once, because I led a Zoom, my husband led a Zoom, and even my toddler had a Zoom session. So there was all 7 of us, and it was a hot mess. I would send one kid to the garage, another one to the patio, 2 to the room, somebody was in the dining room. I would lock myself in the bedroom. I mean, it was everywhere. So we've learned So my number one would be really to designate a space in the house that's consistent for your child. Now that you know that this is going to be a little bit more permanent, at least for the fall semester, let everyone know and every child know, okay, Sana, you've got this room, you know, Ahmed, you've got this room. It just, everyone needs to be in their own space that they know it's theirs, and that can be quiet. We heard a lot of cooking in the background. We heard a lot of yelling, little siblings in the background. So my second piece of advice is make sure your kids have a headphone with a mic. That way, you know, we can minimize the distractions and the disruptions, and that the child can focus as well. I also really do highly recommend, again, all of this is because this is what I learned as a parent. I needed to make also not only a designated space, to be mindful that it can't be their bed. They need some sort of hard surface to write on. Maybe you get something that goes on top of their lap on their bed, but the kids really need to sit up. They need to be ready. They need to have something that they can write on and engage with their teacher. Of course, ideally, it'd be great if they had a bookshelf where they can organize all their stuff. But even as simple as a box, if they just know this is this child's box, put all the things in it at the end of the day. Because what happened in my home is, because my daughter would go in the living room for Arabic, so I find her Arabic book in the living room, I find her math book upstairs. Everything was everywhere, and you can hear my kids right before Zoom starts running around the house saying, where's this, where's that? So really kind of creating a little classroom or space, and it doesn't have to be fancy. I know everyone has different situations in their homes, but I am telling you, as simple as a cardboard box or anything that they always know at the end of each class or the end of each day, everything comes back to this space. So it's not all over and we're not just scrambling every time before next class starts, and they can feel more organized.
And you know, Sister Mesa, you mentioned this, but it's not only good practice, but I know that I've read some papers on the psychological impact on it, because kids love predictability, they love routine, they love consistency. And the idea that this is the place where we do our studies actually is really good for them. And we're not talking about a fancy place, we're talking about a designated place. And I'm really glad that you made that distinction. The place we're talking about is, it's the table. You know, it may be the dining table for some people.
Yeah, and that's
but
fine.
The fact that it is designated as such and organized as such, and by organized, we're just talking about, it could be as small as a cup with all the pencils and the colors to go into. But I think that place designated for education, I think, is very crucial.
Definitely, no, thank you. And we noticed the difference, and the kids, and exactly right. It was the dining table for many, and that's fine. And that way they just know it was, because and obviously the past is the past. No one is blaming or judging. We thought we would be gone for only 2 weeks, so we'll be back in a month. Oh, this is going to be over with, as you know. And then we realized this is not going anywhere anytime soon. So now we need to plan better for the next time around. Another thing, and you already kind of said it, was setting that routine. I know it's hard, right? And we're trying, as a private school, we're requiring that they at least wear some sort of uniform shirt, right? Whatever OCS spirit shirt they have, PE shirt, their polo, whatever it may be, just again, psychologically, that they're not in their pajamas and they're entering the time of school. And I know even if your child's in public school, I still highly encourage them to get out of their pajamas. It just sets a certain tone and a feeling, right? Laying in the bed and wearing their pajamas was just, you know, that was not fun to see as a teacher. You could tell they were not ready to be engaged and to learn academically in that type of, you know, setting. So that would definitely be setting the routine. And also, this is the big one, parents, and I know it's hard, but also really acting as if it's back in school time, really looking at the electronic situation. So before COVID, I was a big proponent of telling my parents, do not allow electronics Monday through Thursday, right? Really limit your screen time Monday through Thursday. Let that be a treat for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, really be mindful of how many games, the social media, and I know that's hard. That was a rule in my home that's completely out the window because of COVID, right? I've given up on that battle, but I too, as a parent, want to retry. Okay, you guys, August 19, we're really going to have to go back to limiting the amount of electronics. And why I'm saying that's even a bigger deal now is because they already have so much screen time because of online schooling. We're talking about anywhere from 2 to 4 to 6 hours a day of looking at a screen, and then adding, if they could, they'll do another 6 hours of gaming if they could. So imagine all that screen time and what that does to their eyes, to their brain, to just so much. And the other thing is, not that our kids are liars, we have angels as children, but what I found out, my children included, it'd be 10, 11 p.m. Like, no, mom, I'm still doing homework. This online stuff is a lot. They're playing games, people. Let's not be, naive. Let's not think that it's really taking them that many hours to do their online. They're going to chat, they're going to play games. And of course, we don't want to overly take that away, because gaming is a sort of them connecting with their friends, right? They all talk over the headset when they're playing their games. But be mindful, especially during the school week. They're really going to be pushing getting out of that summer time freedom that they were having and back to school without physically going back to school. I know is tough on parents, but you have to kind of do a reset button when the first day of school comes and be mindful of the amount of screen time that they have.
And Sister Maisa, while you are at it, you said that the school is opening on the 19th. And if parents are going to limit the screen time, please do not start on the 19th to enforce the limit on the screen time.
Right.
What you want to do is, the 19th is a week away from today. You want to start now. And I think that people need to start doing two things. I'm not sure, what time is your first class in the morning?
8:30.
All right. So the kids have been sleeping in, they've been sleeping late. I think as parents, we've been very lax in that. Yeah. So you're going to ask your kids to sleep early, wake them up early so that they get ready for school by 8:30. Like, most importantly is that weaning them out of the screen time gradually so that by the 19th, they have been fully prepared rather than starting the battle on the 19th. You want to do this prior to your schooling. And I fully agree with your assessment regarding the screen time, which again, as parents, we are wondering. So you, the school, you are, I'm not sure what your schedule is going to be looking like. If you don't mind just taking through the schedule.
Yeah, so last quarter was different. We really kind of we didn't have the full day schedule because again, it was all new to us. But now that was the biggest feedback from parents, is that they would like to see a more full day schedule. So we want to balance the two. So we are having from 8:30 in the morning, it's a morning assembly. So the first class is actually 8:45. So 8:45 to 3, where we have 6 40-minute classes with lots of breaks throughout. So a 40-minute class, 10-minute break, 40-minute class, a 20-minute break, and then so forth. And then we give lunch and salah, like almost about 45 minutes to an hour break, and then 2 more classes. So we're trying to be the balance before parents like a full day schedule. So they know, okay, 8:30 to 3, my kids are busy. So a lot of parents are still working from home, or they need to do their own thing while still balancing, again, the screen time, the load. It's tiring looking at a screen for that long. So that's why all the breaks and all the, we're training our teachers in how to be more engaging. It's not just lecturing over Zoom, how to do the breakout rooms, the Kahoot and quizzes and Pear Deck, all those ed tech tools that are out there to help with that engagement, and also being mindful of the homework load. I know in the beginning, I was teaching as well. I found I was assigning both classwork and homework as homework, because now I wasn't seeing the kids in front of me. So the kids almost felt like they did have double the work online. So these are things we're trying to remind teachers to be mindful of, like, hey, try to get as much as you can done during that 40 minutes and only assign something that they need to do independently. That'll only take them another 20 minutes or so because they have all their other classes.
Nice.
So as a school, we're trying to be mindful of how much screen time besides the school screen time, and then another amount in terms of homework. We're trying to find that balance, and we love when our parents give us that feedback because it's hard. But definitely, if you see your child on the computer hours on end, just suspect something, right? It shouldn't be that much, and so that's what we're looking at.
And I think it's also important to point out that the purpose of the break is not to visit a different website.
Exactly.
The purpose of the break is to get up, move around, give your eyes a break, get some blood circulating, rejuvenate, eat something, drink something, and come back again.
Exactly.
And I think that it's important that the parents understand that this is the purpose of the break, is for the kids to move around, especially for the younger ones, since the attention is very short. And I love the way that you are doing your classes, because I think allowing for these long breaks is really, really crucial at this point, to break that potential boredom and also to have the kids move around. So please remember, that is the purpose of the break when it is being given to your kids.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm hearing it's going to be asynchronized, meaning it'll be
Fine.
live. The students need to be awake and at their desks by 8:30. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, that is
So
correct.
let me ask you, Sister Mesa, since you're going to be joining virtually, and I know that you're encouraging limiting screen time because you don't want them to maybe chat or play games, how can we help parents in limiting screen time on the actual computer itself when they're using it when they're supposed to be in class? Like, I know, for example, Google Hangouts, you don't technically need to have your phone to send your friend a message.
And it's hard. There's no one way, but I what I did, and there was times where I could not pay attention at all because I was busy with my own Zoom. But when I had a chance, I would every so often, like, I would peek in. I would just kind of check the screen. I would walk around the different rooms. I'd have my kids sit on the dining room where their screen is facing me, just so, and not that I'm trying to make a police state in my home, but it just letting my kids know, hey, I'm checking in. I'm checking in. Of course, they're going to get away with, they have their Zoom open, but they're chatting on their phone, right? They're acting as if they're on class, but they're on the iPad as well. I know kids in their ways, they're going to try and stay engaged. But as a parent, there's a lot of, and I wish I had them off the top of my head, but there are different apps out there where you can actually get, better than just checking their history, you can get an idea of what apps they're going on or what sites besides the history. There's ways that parents can get notifications, just so you can have that conversation and check in. Again, it's not meant to be punitive or authoritative, but just like, oh, so I see you're on Etsy, like, and then they're like, how did you know? And then maybe they'll think twice before they go on their, social media account while they're supposed to be on school. So I'm not saying to be a police state, but the teachers do need to feel, the students need to feel as if they were on their toes, just like in a classroom, that you're checking in every so often. And that's true also with their classwork and their homework. Most schools, I'm guessing, including ours, they're really using Google Classroom. And Google Classroom is great to quickly see what assignments they're missing, what they've turned in. So any parent should just like, hey, open up Google Classroom for me. Let me just see. Or if it's Canvas or Blackboard. I mean, there's so many things. It's very easy. And you have that right. I think sometimes we're afraid to be the bad guy as parents or check in. But we need to do that on a daily, weekly basis, especially in the beginning, right? Set the right tone for your kids that they know you're checking in, you're taking this new model of schooling seriously. Parents are not just, hoping the computer is the new babysitter, because they also have to work from home too. I get the reality. I mean, I need to work too from home. I'm fortunate enough that I am now working from the office, but when I was working from home, I mean, that was tough on everyone. So I know a lot had to be let go during that time.
That's a great tip. I think parents, you do have a feature in limiting and preventing your children from getting on specific websites, or I'm not sure if this is the case, but there might be even a way to get it limited or avoided during a specific time.
Right.
We did have one of our participants privately message me a great tip just on your Apple phone itself. If you go on settings, screen time, you can actually limit the amount of screen time, whether it be on your Instagram or any of your social media. This is a great practice just so you could be, mindful of what you're doing, but also because you have other obligations now that school is back in session.
No, that's what I'm so glad you reminded me. We actually tried that with my son and it works. We said he can only be on it for 2 hours and then it stops working. And he's like, no. And so it works. So that is a great tip. Again, I let go a lot during COVID. I have to bring that back in now. But that was very useful.
I know we have
And,
one
and
of
I
our
think
participants.
something that we do, sorry, Sarah,
I was gonna
um,
ask a question.
so, something that we also like to remind the parents of, and that is the idea of do not lose your authority, meaning that it is absolutely your God-given right to check what your kids are doing, to be able to enforce some of these rules that you believe to be of benefit and are crucial to your kids. And I know that sometimes we try to be too accommodating to the point that we lose our our authority. And what I recommend is our children don't really need friends because they already have a lot of friends. I don't think that we as parents want to be their friends. I think we ought to be friendly, but I think that they need the parent in us, a friendly parent in us, more than just us giving our role as as parents to become their friends. So please, please do not be afraid of saying no. Do not be afraid of enforcing these rules. I know they will cry, they tell you that they hate you, but you are the parent.
I agree
Absolutely.
100%.
It's just like the teacher. We love our teachers, but sometimes they have to be stern and they have to be serious. And so we're not looking at them as our friends, but they have to manage and put order in the classroom. So unfortunately, parents now have another job, and that's wearing the teacher's hat from 8 to 3. Is that right?
I mean, and as a school, we're trying to limit that and make it as easy as possible, where we say, hey, parents, a Google Classroom, just check every few days on Google Classroom. You can quickly see what they're missing and not missing. And that would be an indicator whether or not they are taking the class seriously or they are playing games. Is, you know, that's one indicator. And it's really best to not wait until it's too late, not wait until the progress report and you see the bad grade and you're like, I see you on the computer all day and you still have a D. So don't wait to then have to become restricted and do all the punishments and take away and all. It just start from the beginning. Exactly what Chef Yasser is saying. Just from the beginning, set the tone, just set the rules. So you don't have to then always be punitive where you find like, oh, well, you got a bad grade, you couldn't handle it, I can't believe you. Avoid all of that. Just from the beginning, I would say check on them daily for the first week or two. Then it can become every other day. You could keep loosening up. But if you start loose and don't even pay attention in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you go hard, all of a sudden after 2 months, they're gonna be like, whoa, 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 where's this new parent? You were so chill. You didn't even care what I was doing for the past 2 months. Now you're punishing me, right? Avoid all of that. We've all been through it. We've all been through it, but avoid it this time around and just start. It's gonna be more, I know that parents feel like they're wearing the teacher's hat. We're there for our parents. We're trying to make it as easy, but it just takes in that beginning, first 2 weeks in setting the right tone, that they're like, wow, my parents on top of me, my teacher's on top of me. Is this for real this time?
Got it. And Sister Mesa, what kind of challenges are you anticipating? The example that you gave personally was just a great example, and that is having 7 Zoom meetings going on at the same time at home. Are parents, if people have multiple children all at the school, are they expected to have more than one device that will be supporting the kid at the same time, since the schedule is 8:45 to 3 for all the kids? Is that
Alhamdulillah, we were very fortunate that before COVID, we already had a set of Chromebook devices that we asked parents, if you need it, we will let you borrow one. So alhamdulillah, and then at the beginning, because again, we weren't sure how many would need it, and we did have a limited, we were not 1-to-1 last year. So we did limit it to 1 per family. And some of our larger families, we allowed 2 if they expressed that need. Alhamdulillah, we did place an order. Of course, everything is backed up. We placed an order a while ago for more Chromebooks. We're waiting for that new shipment. That way we can provide even more Chromebooks if needed. So far we're look like we're meeting the demands of our parents. But we are working on getting more just to make sure that everybody has a device. Although we're a private school, we definitely believe in equity and that everyone has access to the same, curriculum and material and technology, regardless of their finance. So we're really working hard and making sure everyone has. We did pretty good last quarter, but we want to make sure we do even better this coming August.
okay? And so, other than the technology, what kind of challenges would you be anticipating?
So besides technology, and I wanted to say it is best to have a headphone and a microphone. I know that sounds really funny, but that was a big deal because a lot of times iPads or Chromebooks, especially the Chromebook, the mic is not as strong. So we were picking up a lot of noise or we couldn't hear the student. And of course, once the student is not engaged or feel like they cannot be heard, they check out. You see their camera go off, you see them walk away because, you know, you get a lot of what, huh? And there's right. And then they just feel like this is too much. So we do as a school and as a parent, make sure they have the right connectivity, they have the right device, the headphone and the microphone, so that way they can feel engaged in the class and that they can be heard and they can express themselves. Other things is it can be tiring. We did see students who already struggled academically and needed that teacher to walk around and tap on their desk and that pat on the back, like, hey, keep going. You know, now they don't have that. We can see those students struggling even more. I mean, we're trying to build into our schedule where Fridays are kind of intervention days, where Friday the teacher can schedule one-on-one Zoom sessions or small group sessions to catch those kids on a weekly basis, because we saw that was happening. But I know there's still kind of going to be a group that really are going to miss out on that face-to-face interaction, and we're going to have to work a little harder to make sure we don't lose them for an entire, quarter or semester.
I think that's a great idea. I really like how you're giving them the one-on-one attention still, despite it being a classroom experience where they're engaging with many other peers. So that's a wonderful idea. Yeah. I don't think I've heard that in other school campuses, that they're actually devoting one-on-one sessions from the teacher to the student. So it's nice to know there's going to be weekly sessions just to see on the progress, what they're missing, and how they're doing overall.
Exactly. Alhamdulillah.
We do have a question from one of our participants, Sister Emel. She's asking, she has two children, one 6-year-old and one 4-year-old. She's asking, how far do you think the children should be sitting away from the screen? Can teachers watch the kids' screens? Can they control what the kids are watching? Sorry, so those are 3 separate questions.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure there's a number out there about the exact distance from the screen. I definitely want, just like a TV or anything else, maybe we can look that up real quick. I'm not sure, but I mean, you definitely want some sort of distance. And if they're getting so close, this has happened, and this is real, that you actually don't realize they do have a vision problem. We've had that come up sometimes. We're like, oh, they're sitting so close because they actually can't see. So do look into that. If you feel like your child is so close, maybe they actually need to get tested. But just in terms of like science and in terms of their health, I'm not sure that exact distance. And then the other 2 questions, sorry, remind me.
Yeah,
I just lost my train of thought.
No worries. Mashallah, our chat box is pretty active today. I just got to scroll up. So how far should your kids be sitting? As Sister Mesa just pointed out, of course, there is information you can find online if there's a specific number of inches that you should be sitting away. But whatever appears appropriate.
Oh, the control of the screen. Yeah, okay, now I remember the question.
Yeah,
so there are some ways, and we are working on that. But again, kids are smart and nothing is foolproof. I'm not giving away a secret. Kids already knew this. So there are ways to lock the Chromebook, especially if the Chromebook comes from the school or they have to go in through their school email domain. Yes, there is a way to lock it and know what's on their screen. But guess what kids will do and have been doing? They have a second device next to them. So don't feel like, don't put everything on the school. We do our best, but the parents do need to be active participants because the kids are smart. They'll just have a second device next to them. So we do try and monitor.
Yeah. And Sister Mesa, I think it is so important that we acknowledge the challenges not only faced by the school and the teachers, but also by the parents.
Yeah.
I am just thinking right now, the parent who has to work during the same time that the kids are going to school. And that could be both parents, one parent, or like in your case, I mean, in your case, you had to do that. Now imagine that you needed to look after what every kid is doing and having to make sure that you encourage all of them and you replace, I believe that teachers are coaches, they're cheerleaders, they're teachers, they're many things. and then they're no longer receiving that, pat on the back or the great answer, and mom or dad, they have to be doing this. And now with 5 kids in 5 separate places, all having to be accommodated, I think the parents, I mean, honestly speaking, these are beautiful times, and they're very challenging times. And we just say that we are saying, we're having this meeting not to, to add on the guilt that people sometimes feel or the burden that they're already carrying. We're just saying, look, how about some tips so that we can make this easier for you? So I hope that we never come across as either guilting the parents or adding more burden into their plate.
And like you said, I'm glad
actually, right. Yeah, go ahead, Sister Mesa. I was actually just going to tell Sheikh Yasser, that's a wonderful point bringing that up. And somebody actually, thanked you and complimented you on that comment.
It's not the first time, by the way, Sister Mesa. I do this all the time. So.
Yes, Sheikh Yasser. He's always getting these great messages from our participants. Who doesn't love Sheikh Yasser's presence, mashallah.
Of course.
Yes.
But I also just want to let parents know, if anything, you're actually doing yourself the favor and lessening the amount of time you have to focus on this problem when it becomes bigger. So when you're looking at it before it becomes a problem, then you don't need to be monitoring it as much as you would have to if you find out way later when suddenly, like as Sister Mesa mentioned, you see that your child has a D. How is that possible? You have a D. Well, it took a couple weeks of the school year already. What's taken place from there till then. So that's why it takes active monitoring in the beginning. But once that structure and routine is put into place, then students start to do things more independently and need less help from mom and dad.
Right. Exactly. And thank you for reminding all of us, because I experienced everything last quarter. We're trying to learn from everything that we did wrong or we could have done better, and sharing that experience, because there's definitely times where I ignored everybody because I had to get my work done. I didn't pay attention. I'm like, eat chicken nuggets. I'm like, I don't care what you do, just let me focus. I would have to lock the door in my room so I can get my own work done. Or there were times, and I'm saying, I know this is hard on parents, but I realized there were times I did have to stop every so often, maybe take an hour out of my work day where it's 20 minutes every so often. I make up that hour when they sleep, or I make up that hour after Fajr when it's quiet, just so I know I can spend about 20 minutes per kid just checking in on them. And it's going to be worth way more in that check-in, like Sada is saying. It's worth that sacrifice of that hour each day from your work day, where you can make it up at night in the morning, because without that problem getting bigger, and then you realize, oh my God, I've been ignoring them for a month or two. So yeah, no blame, nothing. It's just, we're all learning. I learned a lot, and it was tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, and I think the other people that we also need to point out that they also have a challenge are the teachers. So this week was my first week teaching here in Memphis, and I just taught for the past 3 days. I've been teaching Islamic psychology to high schoolers, and I think I'm fortunate because I'm teaching 11th and 12th graders only, and these are the older adults. But I found out that I needed to have a much higher energy than the rest of the class, that I needed to keep people engaged. I needed to keep it lighthearted. I needed to make sure that I am delivering. And by the end of the hour, I was just really tired. Yeah. I was just really, really tired, because it wasn't just about, it was just so many things that needed to be done. So for all the teachers out there who are absolutely doing their best, every single class come back with a renewed sense of energy. I think that just takes a lot of commitment, love, and dedication. I would just say we appreciate you, man. I mean, all the brothers and the sisters out there. I mean, talking about essential workers. I mean, these are really, really essential workers. So we want to appreciate that the teachers also get tired. The teachers are also parents. The teachers are also, like the rest of us, they have many things going on. So we want to show, I guess what I'm saying is that some flexibility, allowing the parents, like, look, like you said, I just need to get this done right now. And also acknowledging the challenge of the students and what they have to go through, acknowledging the challenge of the teachers and what they have to go through in order to deliver at that level. I just think this is, I mean, like I said, these are beautiful times, challenging times. So we want to come across as forgiving, accommodating, tolerant, and also be willing to overlook, mistakes here and there. I think that's crucial for everybody's sanity.
Yeah, Sheikh Yasser's motto, Sister Mesa, it's always don't sweat the small stuff.
Yep, I agree.
Right. So
Yep.
he's already telling the teachers, take it easy on the kiddos,
Right.
let them go a couple times. 1, 2, 3, then strike.
Right.
Is that right, Sheikh Yasser?
By all means. And I'm saying, like, don't sweat the small stuff with the teachers, with the parents, with the children, with the technology. It's okay if the internet goes down every now and then. It's okay if Chrome is giving them trouble. It's okay if the kids are cranky sometimes. It's like, literally, look, these are not just our normal days. And let's, sometimes it's okay to lose some battles if you win the war. So be very, selective about which battles you want to, to go into, and it's okay to lose some if the overall achievement is good. So thank you, Sarah. Really,
Yeah.
don't sweat the small stuff. Mesa, before we it's coming to an end here, but
Yeah.
you said that you're also thinking of bringing the kids every now and then to the school so that they can have peer interaction and teacher interaction. I love the idea. Please tell us, what do you have in mind?
So we're thinking, because we have currently a Monday through Thursday set schedule, and Friday is a little bit more flexible, and for that one-on-one and so forth, that we're hoping to be, one Friday we bring half the campus at staggered times, outdoors with a mask and 6 feet apart. We bring half the school in on, one Friday throughout the day to meet by class, and then switch the following Friday, be the other half of the students. That way, again, we kind of spread out. We don't bring on too many people, where every other Friday, students get a chance to come onto campus if they feel comfortable to do so, and interact with their peers and their teacher.
Okay. And did you say something about you're only doing this up to the 10th grade, 11 and 12?
We just started high school last year. So last year was our very first year adding 9th. So this year adding 9th and 10th. We wish to keep going and to be the first full Islamic high school in Orange County, inshallah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. And Sister Mesa, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know that a good number of Islamic schools, private schools, might end up suffering as far as registration and retaining students.
Yes.
Of course, in our community, people would say, look, I bring my kids to the private school for the quality of education and also because of the environment. Now that there is no environment to be afraid of, and with the private schools being costly, why am I still?
No, you said it right. And we do have a lot of parents that were very open and honest with us. We have sort of like, hey, we're sticking it through because we believe in the school. We want to stay with you. But there are parents who says, we would love to, but we financially can't. Some families we did provide a COVID tuition adjustment program just uniquely to this year, so we can help those who were kind of on the cuff, who just needed a little bit extra help to stay. But there was families who were like, one or two of the breadwinners completely lost their job and they couldn't, because I get it. They're like, hey, we can get a completely online education for free versus a completely online education for a payment. But alhamdulillah, they do see the benefits that, our class size is 15. So where a public school might be 30 online, imagine online is already hard, and then being 30, you really have to try to get your space as a child. So we're only 15 students, plus we're offering those breakout and one-on-one sessions. We still offer Quran, Arabic, and Islamic studies, that morning assembly, just trying to bring that community feeling so that a kid doesn't feel like not only are they affected by COVID and being home, now they're starting a new school, new friends, a big crowd, although it's a big online crowd, it's not a big, physical crowd. So alhamdulillah, the majority of our families still see that benefit, and we're helping as much as we can financially. They want to ride this out with us. They see our benefit, and a lot of public schools, they had to close for about 2 weeks. They fell behind in the curriculum. They didn't know how to jump online. But as a private school, we shut down the school Friday, March 13th. Monday, March 16th, we were all online. We figured it out. We all got together as staff, and where public schools had to wait 2 weeks. So alhamdulillah, we have a lot more flexibility and being able to make sure our kids are on top of it academically, that we go through the curriculum. And like you said, it's tiring. It's tiresome to do all these bells and whistles. Imagine you're like solving for X, but now you got to just solve with X with a Bitmoji. And you got to make these cute little slides and you need like sound to go off. When before I could be exciting with my voice, but now I need to be exciting on the computer. So alhamdulillah, our teachers are going beyond that and really providing the best academic experience in such a tough time.
Love it. Nice, mashallah. And Sarah, I know we have a challenge. Actually, we have a challenge for our viewers right now. And Access is doing this really beautiful thing about helping kids who are unable, like you said, maybe the breadwinner lost their job, minimal income. So what we have is, what is it, Sarah? $30, I think, to help a student?
Yes, we do. We have that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I do want to share with everybody, Access California is hosting a fundraiser, a back to school fundraiser. The goal is to surprise 100 students with school supplies. So if you can donate $30, you can actually sponsor one whole student's backpack and the supplies in there. I guess I'll just seize the moment right now and share the video. I'm so sorry.
Sarah, do me a favor, before you share that, we have at least about 25, 26 people online right now. And maybe that would just be 25% of our goal. So if we're looking for 100 people to join, I would like to be the first to sponsor a back to school pack to a child, surprise them with it. So please, if you can join me, that would be so unbelievably lovely. So it's $30.
I will join you too.
That's two. That is
I hear your offer. I hear your offer, and I'll double it, inshallah, or I'll join you as well.
Beautiful. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. I counted myself in the video and outside here. Okay, so that's 4 people already. So if our online, oh my God, so we've got somebody else also joining.
Suhair is joining too, so we have 5.
Yeah, so we've got 5. So if you can just please keep this going, I think that would really be lovely. And my hope is that before the end of this webinar, we will have all these 100 kids surprised here. I know I said 1, but if you can do more than 1, please see into it that, and I love what you said, Maysa, and that is you had a COVID adjusted tuition. And just, if you can just tell us, what did you mean by that?
Yeah, we were able to, again, it depended on the family situation and what they were able to share with us, but we were able to reduce the monthly tuition from anywhere to $100 to $250 per month per child. We were able to reduce it. So right now our tuition is $675 a month. So it went down to maybe $575, $450. We reduced it to the monthly amount if they expressed they had financial hardship.
Nice.
Yeah.
On behalf of all the people, man, really thank you for doing these things.
Of course.
Okay. And I know we've been asking about the school, we want to ask you, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I know, I think I need a counselor. Maybe we'll make our own session. Yeah, it's been tough, right? As a principal, as a teacher, as a mother, it's not easy. So I feel for all the parents and teachers, everyone. I get it all. It's hard as an administrator in balancing a budget. It's hard as a teacher getting all my curriculum ready online, and as a mother being on top of all of my kids. There was a lot of chicken nuggets. That's all I can say, because it gets hard. But alhamdulillah, I have a great team and support and family that's helping me.
Nice. And I just want to remind our viewers again, we still have the fundraiser going on right now, and we're hoping to, at least during this webinar, sponsor at least 25 kids. And the other thing is, Sarah, if you remember, we had an entire show on self-care. And that is something that we want to remind all the parents, the teachers, and the kids to practice. Self-care. These are all the intentional things that we do to rejuvenate ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and socially. Please do not undermine the importance of self-care. And Maysa, what do you do for self-care?
I need to do more.
Sarah, give her some tips.
Okay, thank you. Sister Mesa, we know you, along with the teachers, the students, and the entire community. I know that Orange Crescent is also attached to the masjid.
Yeah.
So there is just so much adjusting that we have to do. And I know it's a lot to take in. So when it comes to self-care, you, I'm sure, as well as Sheikh Yasser, know that it's super important to make sure you remember to take care of yourself, whatever way that is, as long as it's healthy and it's bringing you calmness and relaxation. I like this idea of giving breaks throughout for the students, gives them a chance to stretch, get a sip of water. And also if there's breakout sessions happening within the classroom, it gives them a chance to interact with their peers, because we know school, besides learning, is also a place to make friends and have fun. So keep up the great work. We are super proud of you. And I know we're going back and forth. Sheikh Yasser, I do want to let you know with this fundraiser, mashallah, we have another 3 people who've joined us along with the 5 originals. So I'm going to take the opportunity right now to show the videos.
So do me a favor, Sarah, before you show us, I just want to make sure that this fundraiser gets, where do people go to make this donation?
Yeah, great question. Everybody who wants to donate, you go to our website and you press on donate today.
Okay.
That's
And you're
simple,
going to,
accesscal.org, donate today. It's the first tab that you will see, I believe.
okay, and this is going to be for the school package.
Yes, back to school supplies. And as you know, school's already in session at some schools. They've already started. So we're hoping the sooner the better. School will start earlier here in California as opposed as to other states. So the sooner the better. Okay, so let me go ahead and share the video and then let us know if you have any additional questions, inshallah.
Okay.
So cute.
I don't think we're able to hear any of the music, but I think that the pictures are very self-explanatory with the smiles that you see. I think we just want to make sure that we are able to put one more smile on any of these kids' faces. And sometimes the smiles not only go to the children, but I think they also go to the parents as well.
Yeah, sorry about the sound not going off. It was just some music playing. There wasn't a narrator or anything. But yeah.
And you know, Sarah, sorry, even though the music was not there, but I think that the smiles on these kids' faces were very self-explanatory, and it was the smiles on their faces as well as their parents. And we just want to make sure that we collectively come together as a community and that we do help the kids in our community. And by the way, when we say our community, we're not talking about the Arab community. We're not talking about just the Muslim community. We're just talking about our community, our just, you know, our brothers and sisters in humanity out there who may be struggling with this. Final thoughts, Sister Mesa?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that everyone is doing their best, and it happens, and make it. Just real quick story. One time we were all on Zoom, and then all of a sudden it crashed our internet because my son went on Fortnite, and we were screaming. We were like, "Get off my son!" We were so mad at that moment, and you know, we all got kicked off of our Zoom sessions. But then, of course, it was a good laugh, and I got to tell my students, like, do you know why I had to end my class? They thought it was great that I had to end the class. I'm like, because my son went on Fortnite. So, you know, we just had to make fun out of it. Let's take it easy. It's tough on everyone. It's tough on the kids, the parents, just like you said. So we're giving best tips so that we can learn from what we experienced. But at the end of the day, just you don't want to lose your kids in this process, that relationship, a positive one. Be on top of them, be checking in and be that authority, but don't be where it's constant tension in the home, where it's almost so toxic because everyone is just home all the time. So forgive the little things and make fun of the thing, make light of whatever does go wrong.
Yeah, we tell our parents to make a cupcake. And by that, what I meant is we have this really nice exercise. So imagine that there's a cupcake, like a little drawing of a cupcake. And what makes a cupcake are the sprinkles on top. and we invite people, I tell this to my clients all the time, look, by the end of the day, see how many sprinkles you can put on your cupcake. And these are like all the good things that happen throughout the day. And I think that as parents, we have a big say in controlling and determining the mood and the temperature at home. So the more relaxed we are as parents, the easier going we are as parents. I think that will reflect positively on the kids as well. I love what you said. You know what? We want to be there. We want to be available, but we don't want to create a toxic environment for our kids. And how do we do that? Don't sweat the small stuff, people. Just really chill, relax, and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sister Mesa, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you joining us. Thank you and best of luck with the school year. For the rest of us, again, we have this fundraiser campaign going on. So please remember to go to our website, click on donate today to go ahead and sponsor and bring a smile to those beautiful kiddos' little faces. As for next week, we have another guest speaker, an administrator from a public school. So it'll be interesting to see some of the differences happening on their campuses. So until next time, everybody, thank you. It was really
One
good.
second, Sarah, 1 second. I think we have got like 2 more minutes, and I'm hoping that at least 3 more people are going to join in. Please, people, I beg you, 3 more people, just tell me right now on the chat that you will sponsor one of these children. How many do we have so far? 8? I think, is it 8 or 7? Okay, one more person, please let me know that you will be joining. I didn't say leave, I said join. Let us know that you will be sponsoring a child, please. Going once before we say goodbye. Come on, people. One more person to just say, I am going to sponsor a child. Going once. Going once. Come on. Going twice. Sister Mesa, it was so good having you. Oh, love it. Thank you, Manal. One more person. One more person as I am thanking Sister Mesa. It was so lovely to have you. And I must ask, how's Sheikh Ibrahim doing?
He's doing well. He's doing well. Also doing Zoom sessions. Alhamdulillah. Working from home.
Please pass on our salams
I will.
to him and for all the people who donated, will donate, wanted to donate, but are unable to. I just want to say on behalf of the kids, thank you very much. Sarah, as always. No technical difficulties this time, mashallah. You did well.
Yeah, thanks to me. I'm figuring it out. Hopefully we can get you to learn some techniques. Learning how to unmute yourself.
Yeah, right. See,
Just
that's
excuse us. We always do this. It's usually
I
how
love
we
it.
end off.
I love how my picture is actually in the middle between you two. So I kind of feel like I'm like in between this. Great. I really appreciate it.
all right. Beautiful, y'all. Good seeing you again. Take care, y'all. All of our viewers, salam
Bye,
alaikum.
everybody. Thank you.
Take care. Yeah, you know, you did well. I mean, you didn't have the sound going on, but you know, you
Are you
did.
talking to me? Really?
Yeah, you did well. The sound didn't work, but you know.
Well, you know what? I kind of thought that was going to happen for some reason. When I share screen and it's a video, the sound doesn't go off. I gotta send a note to Zoom. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah. So Umar Azzuddin is our guest next week.
Yes, he is an administrator in Santa Ana Unified School District.
Yes.
So he'll give us a glimpse, and he's an admin, so he's like on this think tank of different stakeholders in the community.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot.
I know Umar. I beat him in soccer. I beat him in volleyball. So I will make sure to remind him of that, inshallah.
And I'm gonna make sure to remind him too. That way I could be an instigator.
Yeah.
At our next session.
All right. You do that. Okay, inshallah. We'll see you next time, Sarah. You all take care.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.